but it has nothing to do. I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, JB. That's why I uploaded that shit last night. You should watch it. Because I feel like I kind of verbalize a lot of the stuff that I'm feeling. Maybe you're feeling the same way. I don't know. Maybe you're feeling some of those things that I feel. Yeah, what's up, Wii Sports? It's good to be back. Yeah. It's a pretty chill run. It's fun. Also, Dream Skill, thank you for the Twitch Prime. It's so much different than 100%. 100% is so hardcore and cutthroat and unforgiving. This shit's just chill. And it's fun, and it's also skillful. It's just, you know, it's a different flavor. I feel like a lot more people can get down with this shit. Nice, man.
We can't jellyfish today. I'm going fishing for robots.
Yeah, I have a lot of hope that better days are ahead. Rehydrated definitely burned a lot of people out, though. Yeah, but we want to teach people that it's like, if you want to get involved, it's not hard to get involved. People, like, should not revere speedrunners as, like, gods of gaming. We're just guys who wanted to put time into a game. Did you hear about what I'm working on, JB? The competitive bingo ladder? I really want to give that shit a spin when it's done. I'm gonna work on the objectives when I get off tonight. Yeah, because I've been saying that, like, for the people who do feel like world records are important for some reason, this community has never been about that, but obviously, as we expand, the lowest common denominator wants to see competition, and that's what gets some people interested in the community. I think that a different measure of skill, like a bingo ladder, can be very helpful. Yeah, Square. I'm down. We have to figure out how to make good objectives, though. I don't want to just do like cookie cutter for each thing. Who was the one who helped with the descriptions of the objectives for the website? Is that you? Yeah. No, I think the client that we want to create would have some kind of a video as well that shows like an animated image or something like that. It has to be very clear what you're supposed to do to get each objective. Like extremely clear.
Satisfying. Push, 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 push.
My argument is that a lot of us don't realize how much the game means to us. I think more people would if they tried to look at it as something more than just a leaderboard. The plan is honor system, but if there's a dispute, handle it. There's a lot more this game has to offer than just cruise boosting, but yeah, it's part of it. An automated bingo ladder people can just play would be so accessible. It would also get a lot of people to stream the game too. Like having to stream the game to verify your results. Yeah, it's a good point that people might not be playing a lot. We'd have to consider that as well. No, because the idea is that you earn spots above other players. Submitting solo times would defeat the purpose of having to be matched with somebody, because that's exactly what we're trying to prevent, is people just grinding on their own time. Like, you can only get a bingo score if you're competing against somebody else in that moment. Kind of like an online game. True.
Oh, I'm quick!
Just being able to see that somebody's online, like waiting, or like seeing how many people are online on the server. Like, people could just be waiting for a match, you know? Like, you got a good point that we can just end up with a dead server. It's definitely a problem that we should address. We've already done races a million times. We need something new. Trust me, we've done that shit a million times. What's up, Aether? Thank you. What if we ran it through Dolphin? Like, Dolphin verifies that you have the right objectives. It automatically marks them off when they're collected. That'd be fucking wild. And you're just playing Dolphin. It wouldn't be perfect, but hey. Probably a sub 4840. I've just always thought that bingo was more compelling than speedrunning. For competition, I mean. Like, speedrunning can be made competitive or not. It doesn't have to be competitive. But bingo, I think, is more competitive because you're responding to what your player's doing. Your opponent is doing.
Sorry.
Yeah, bingo for this game already exists, but it's not very fleshed out. It's gonna take a lot of hard work to get something like that off the ground. But ultimately, it should be like, if you have a copy of the game, you should be able to play it. I would love for the 24/7 stream to be a thing, but it's a lot of maintenance. Somebody has to be willing to do it. I can see your message, yeah. Help needed for what to happen? To me or somebody in chat?
Looks like the robots left itself vulnerable. Great barrier reef. Now the robots.
Oh, we would need somebody with a streaming key to have like a dedicated setup that just streams VODs from people in the community. We had something set up for it. We had like a forum where you submit your VODs to it, but it kind of like, when I got focused on the documentary, I stopped leading the project and people kind of forgot about it.
The old clothesline move.
I want there to be a day when like I don't have to nudge people into the right direction for things to happen. Parrot was able to handle the NG Plus tournament on his own. That was really awesome. I had no part in that, and he did a fucking great job organizing it and getting it done. We need more of that, you know? This thing that Jackson's organizing is also good. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Oh, nice flying head thing move by Patrick.
Yo, it's going alright. Dude, I keep doing this early. What's going on?
Wow, I've never seen such an electrifying match.
Yeah, Cole was supposed to be the one who runs that, but Cole has his own shit going on right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, people have really tried to say that me being where I am in this game is the reason why people aren't motivated to play. Like, they're speaking for themselves when they say that. They're not talking, they don't speak for everybody else, you know. Motivation comes from within. Like, these people who say that they're not motivated to get the world record because I'm too far ahead, they're not motivated to get second, third, or fourth place either. Hence why they're not at that point. Notice how people who are actually at that point aren't the ones who are complaining. So. If you're not motivated to get there, why would you be motivated to get the world record? Yeah, exactly. Most people are. Most people in this community are just motivated to beat their own times. I think it's stupid to try and treat the world record in a game like an accessible thing. Like, everyone needs to have a fair shot at getting it in terms of like the conditions you live in and the time you have to play. Like, everybody has their own ways of making time for something and bettering their own lives so they have more bandwidth to do things for fun, like speedrunning. Everyone has their own ways of doing that. Why should I be punished because I figured out how to do it myself? You know? Like, you have the tools, you have the game, you have a fair rule set that allows you to play just on the same level playing field as everybody else. That should be enough to do it. If you really want to, and if you don't want to, then be honest with yourself and say you don't want to. JB, I think you should watch that video. I think the video will really help you. Because I've been dealing with the same shit where I've been feeling the same way. And I know it's not because of the game, because I'm enjoying playing the game. It's like other shit's happening, you know? It's definitely other shit. No, it's not just you, JB. We're all feeling it too. Like, the community has always been focused on, like, proving something to ourselves and others that the game is worthy of acclaim. And now that the game's gotten acclaim, it feels empty. Like, we don't know what to do now. I feel like that's a big part of it. That we've already peaked and that there's not much more to go off of here, but there's obviously still a lot more. You know? There's still much more to be explored, but we're just not thinking clearly. Because we're so tunnel visioned on being the underdogs that we haven't realized that, you know, there's so much more we can do now that people know what we're doing. They just have to learn to appreciate it, and that should be our next goal, is to really get people into the run and understand why we're doing this and how to do it. Tutorials are one thing, but not everybody wants to watch a tutorial. People want short, digestible videos to help them understand how to appreciate something.
So that. That. That.
You know, in this whole thing, I thought about something that I did last year that I thought might be a good idea to flesh out a little bit. At the end of the year, I made a list of everybody in the community and tried to write a little bit of something like some memory I had with them, or like my impression of them as a person, or like just like anything really. Just like trying to appreciate everybody who's part of the community. Like, I think that we need more of stuff like that. Something that I did that I didn't really think too much about. I just had some free time. I felt like doing it. But I feel like stuff like that is more important than we realize. Makes it feel... Another thing, too, is also, like, speedrunning events not being a thing. Like, there's so much shit going on right now that we're all trying to process, but we don't realize it. Like, not having pace this year was a big hit for a lot of people. Not having GDQ was a big hit for a lot of people. Those things hit hard, just not being able to, like, see and touch, like, the community that you're fucking part of, you know? And not knowing when you're going to be able to be a part of that community again. Like, it just feels more hollow being on the internet all the time. And there's nothing we can do about it.
The map.
So we just gotta figure out how to make do.
Up we go.
Ah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Where are all the security?
Oh, I'm quick.
I think that'll save time.
Oh, I'm quick.
I just want to see people more motivated to and for people first and foremost people to see that like there are better days to come. Rehydrated was not the ultimate prize this community could ever achieve. There's still so much more to do with this game. That's why it feels weird. It feels like we're split, like we don't know what to like focus on really. At least that's how it felt for a while. Like the focus was like, was it on us or was it not?
Number one in the Bikini Bottom scavenger hunt 3 years running. Thank you.
It definitely didn't divide the community because you see that people are happily playing both games and getting along. It's not a divisive thing, which I'm really, really happy never like. Imagine if it were divisive.
Quick.
That would just be like the end. Like it would tear the community apart if it were divisive. We're so fortunate for this to not be a divisive thing. That both games get along in harmony. I'm really appreciative of that. But it felt like for a while, people just didn't really know what they wanted to invest their time in. Feeling like duty and obligation to play both is how I felt at least. Yeah, I got 116, but now I'm playing any percent. Yeah, they're entirely different and appeal to different preferences. Rehydrated is more of a glitch run, this is more of a movement run. And you know, people who play both games enjoy both. I had fun playing Rehydrated, I just don't like it enough to play it every day. And I feel that it impacts my gameplay. by playing both. It makes me worse at both. And I have this thing where I don't want to stop playing this game, so like, if I play both games at the same time... You kind of get what I'm going for here. Like, I'm not going to stop playing this game under any circumstance. So the only two options I have are play this game and be the best I can be at it, or play both games and be mediocre at both of them, basically. Because it's conflicting muscle memory is part of it, but it's also focus. It's like, I can't play both games, but I know people are playing both games and having fun playing both. Or some people are going back and forth, like they'll play that game until they want to take a break and come to this game, take a break, you know. People are going back and forth. I think we'll see the real benefits of Rehydrated existing a year from now, when we see people, instead of just stopping altogether, when they get bored of speedrunning, they can just go play Rehydrated for a bit. Or, we'll, you know, with the whole bingo client that we're developing now, people can just play that, and we can get that working for Rehydrated as well. You know, there's no reason why we can't get it working for both games. We can have a Rehydrated ladder, and we can have a Battle for Bikini Bottom ladder and a Rehydrated ladder. It can work for both games, for sure. Yeah, and I can't play that much reliably while playing both games. And that's what was really frustrating me. Like, sure, it's not my favorite game in the world, but I was still having fun playing it. I just can't grind it without feeling like I'm forcing myself to. This game doesn't feel forced when I grind it. But in general, I feel like we need to, you know, improve some stuff with the Battle for Bikini Bottom website. No, that server for the matches. I feel like doing this bingo shit with Rehydrated would be huge. Because, like, I can totally see something, like, working with the PC version, at least, for collecting certain socks and shit. Like, we should definitely do the Rehydrated stuff with bingo, too. We should do the bingo client with Rehydrated and see how that goes as well. There's no reason why we can't do both. Telling you, man, there's so much more to explore. Yeah, things are going fine. It's been a good warm-up.
And the robot is down. One more douse with that stuff, and SpongeBob will be back in the ring. Oh, that was a doozy.
See, that was the plan, Jackson, but we didn't have enough human resources to do that. If you want to help do that, like, I can add you to the web development group and we can totally get that going.
That does it. SpongeBob is back in the fight. Oh, that was a doozy.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM so I remember. I forget a lot of stuff, but I'll add you to the group. We need to get the web development group going again. Yeah, the wiki is rough. It's good for finding routes and stuff, but it's not that great for learning strats. Good thing tutorial does an adequate job at getting people into the run. But yeah, getting good at it makes it a little less streamlined when you have to ask somebody for help. Of course, there are people in this community who can help you. I'm fine with helping, of course, as well. But some people are just a little shy, you know. Not everybody's willing to just learn the game on their own. People want to be part of. I mean, not everybody is willing to. Well, I guess that also is like part of it, right? If you're shy and you don't want to learn the game, and you're not willing to learn if you can't learn on your own, is more what I'm trying to say. Like, you'd rather not learn at all, as opposed to constantly having to ask people for help.
The robot better.
no. That's never happened because it's never impossible to PB. If you want to talk to me in DMs, Discord is a lot more accessible because Twitter DMs, like, I don't feel, I like Twitter because people can see when you've seen their messages, and like, there are some people who like try to troll you in DMs and stuff, and I don't want them to see that I saw it if they do try to troll me. Sounds weird, but yeah, just DM me on Discord. I haven't had to do this trick in so long. Yeah, I choose Twitter DMs do kind of suck. I don't really like using them. Oh, you can do that? Interesting. Oh, absolutely. It's really toxic both ways. I hate that. Being, like, seeing if somebody read something. Yeah, just DM me on Discord, man. I'll gladly talk to you.
Yeah.
Also, Bubby, thank you for the 11 months. Can I be mod? No. Real. Do you want to be mod, Jackson? Because you've been here quite a bit. It's all part of the plan. You're already mod. I'll just make you VIP.
Money.
Can I be mod? You can't buy your way into mod, guys. Also, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Oh, God. Back in the day, I used to judge, like, how dedicated somebody was to modding based on, like how much they donated back in like 2016. Like, I used to trust people based on like if they ended up giving like a lot of money as like a donation, I'd be like, oh, this person's probably like not a troll. It was so weird, like how I used to judge that. Really fucking toxic, honestly. Like, I just handed out mods to people who just gave big donations. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was really truly just doing it because I felt like, just get this, yeah. I felt like, if the person was really willing to support the stream that much, they must be interested in watching enough to mod, and they probably care enough to, like, it's just so fucking weird the way I did things when I first started out here. It literally was pay to play, yeah, it was so stupid. But like, I don't know. I look back on the way I used to run my stream, and I just had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Like, I don't doubt that, like, people who give generous donations would be nice mods and good community examples, but, like, it's just, like, a weird measure. It's a weird metric to use. Yeah, modding simps. Real. I do too, man. I definitely don't have all the answers figured out. Lately, I just feel like I'm focused on, like, trying to get other people to stream. I'm gonna be honest. Because I sense that there's just a loss of, passion as of late. People are forgetting the reasons why they play the game. I want to help remind people why they play this game. Because it's hard to verbalize these things that we're feeling. And I know a lot of people are feeling it too. So I want to help, you know, start that discussion. What we need to do to feel like what we're doing matters again, I guess. I think you should, JB. I think you really should. And you know, I think that we should also discuss putting some of the extension categories on the main boards as well. I feel like, we have too much shit on the extension boards, but only if there's interest and stuff like that. The idea that like a category is pointless if it showcases shit that's redundant is kind of weird. Like, really don't need to think that way, you know. I got in this 3 times today. Fucking ballin'. And I also messed that up, so that's also something. Yeah, I think that switchless and warpless could be decent miscellaneous categories. Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's weird to have no SBA on the main boards though, because it's just so like dated with how the game is played. I think we should definitely try to shake things up with the leaderboards though, because it feels like that's part of the loss of motivation. It's like, why does this matter? I don't know. I think we should definitely talk about that. I think that having side categories would help freshen things up for some people. You know, this run's not a bad showcase of this route. It really is not that bad. Oh god. I do shit like that. I might upload this just because, like, it's good to show people what we're currently working on as far as, like, speedrunning goes. But I think some of the stuff that we're talking about is also important as well. Like, I think that the idea that SBA is bad is something that definitely was holding the community back, but the idea that restrictive categories don't have a place on the main boards because we were trying to prevent that mindset of, like, trick bad, run without trick shit. Like, I think that stuff like switchless and warpless that are arbitrarily restrictive and not, like, going with some kind of, like, ideology that, like, a trick is bad. Like, obviously nobody thinks that warping is bad. Obviously nobody thinks that switching characters is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think those things actually could have a healthy place on the main boards. They're just, like, fun side categories. Yeah, it's like healthy. I just think that something like no cruise boosting isn't really a fun challenge. I don't think that no SBA, at least in the current state of the game, is a fun challenge. It's more or less just like neutering the game. But stuff like switchless forces you to take a different approach, you know? It's not like getting more spatulas. Like, isn't NG plus 100% more tolerable now? Since, the dome clip shit, yeah. Are people using industrial park clip on 360? Does it matter anymore? Does it even matter now? I just think that like NG plus as a label is kind of non-descriptive. I don't know how to explain it. Don't hit me with that early powers bullshit. It's literally worse. We're not having this discussion again about NG plus. It's the best the community can come up with. It's just NG plus. The community knows it as NG plus. But if we want to have 100% be like on the table, you know, it's like, dude, really? Come on. Early powers literally means nothing, and it's so like, what do you mean early? How early is early? You can just cheat them in at the end of the game. Doesn't even matter when you cheat them in. As NG plus is defined, it follows the rules of NG plus. Starting the game with previously unlocked abilities in your other playthrough. And a lot of speedruns like OT3D and Simpsons Sit and Run and stuff like that have made up NG plus categories that aren't literally NG plus. They're just defined by the community. So yeah, this game doesn't have an official NG plus. We have one. I'm saying like, if we added NG plus 100% to the main boards, how would we handle the categorization? You know. Put it in MISC or something.
The great.
This game just has so much more interesting shit to offer than just any percent and 100%. Like, oh shit. Like, I love these categories and they're definitely the best the game has to offer, at least in my opinion. But we should have more options that are more visible to people. I mean, I wouldn't personally run it. I'm just saying that if people want to run it, it should be an option. There's just a lot of shit on extensions that doesn't need to be on extensions. Boards kind of look empty when, you know. Also, what's up, Crawfish? Oh, it absolutely is. Tell me about it, man. That was all part 2. Part 2 is like majority of that shit. This means you're making a good video. I'm excited to see what you make. Crawfish, what's your take on moving arbitrary categories to the miscellaneous tab on the main boards? Because one can argue that, you know, having an extension board is the point. Like, you can just put extensions, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point for miscellaneous tab if you have an extension board, essentially? It can be argued the opposite, where there's no need to have them on a miscellaneous tab because you can just have them on an extension board. But is there still a stigma with extension categories? I don't know. I'd be willing to try putting them on the main board to see if things change, but I feel like the stigma that extension board categories are memes is kind of dead. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, does it not promote, but it doesn't promote visibility. Yeah, exactly. The problem is visibility. Because people, like, get bored. They want to, like, have motivation to, like, grind a category on the main boards. Also, I forgot the split. But, yeah. Wow, I'm just not doing too hot. That's a good point. We did try to do it. We did try to put Warpless on the main boards, and it didn't get any attention because people didn't have motivation to play it in the first place. Yeah. You got a point. You can't really, again, you can't force people to do something just by making it visible to them. There's no way I'm making this many mistakes, man. It started as a main board category. And it got moved because nobody was playing it. But I think that Warpless is a lot more developed now. And there were some people in the community who wanted to see it move to the main boards. Like, what if we had the arbitrary kind of like the Zelda games do, where they have the arbitrary categories like glitchless and have like the percentages under glitchless. So it's like NG+, you click on that tab, it gives you any percent and 100%. You click on Warpless, it gives you the any percent and 100%, you know. Switchless gives you like any percent and max percent.
They serve food here, yes, but they don't serve love.
And here we are, folks, the main event. A gauntlet of ever-increasing ferocity.
Like, it doesn't need to be a miscellaneous tab.
The robot better change tactics and fast. Will SpongeBob be able to neutralize the giant robot's brain?
Oh, that's bad. This run really fell off at the end. Do you think that it's also confusing for people that 100% is the main category on the leaderboards? Because I personally don't find it confusing, but, you know. I think that 100% is less accessible. Yeah, it's less accessible, but it's definitely the best showcase of what you can do in the game. Yeah, I think that we should reorganize the leaderboards. I could see doing like any percent and 100%, and then having like the arbitrary tabs like NG plus with any percent 100%, warpless any percent 100%, switchless any percent max percent. Yeah, I totally. It is a little bit confusing because 100% is not fleshed out. Like, let's go on the extensions boards right now. Like, what do we got here?
I still have lots of robots all over Bikini Bottom. I'll summon them all, and then we'll see. Uh-oh. I'll destroy you. You'll destroy me. I'll destroy you.
You have like the weird restrictive stuff, like no cruise boost glitch, which is like super broad and hard, and like it's just like a weird categorization. I feel like switchless, warpless, and NG plus 100 could have a place on the main boards. Maybe in-game codes as well, honestly.
Hope you learned your lesson.
I can kind of see in-game codes as well.
Next time I'll get it right. Ouch! We won! Who wants to get ice cream?
I do. I do.
Do cheats have a place on the main boards then? I feel like switchless and warpless
I'm being punished.
could
I don't know
potentially
for
move
what,
over.
but I'm being punished.
There's still work to be done out there. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy wouldn't stop, and neither will I. We can't rest until Bikini
Yeah, but it
Bottom
has more
is
runners than
safe.
NG plus because it's a 2-minute category. Yeah, cheat percent really is a meme. It's the cheat categories, especially if you're gonna have NG plus 100% on the same board. Yeah, it feels like they should be in their memes, the meme section. Cheats, yeah, cheats shouldn't really have a place on the main boards unless because like NG plus 100% and cheat 100 are very similar. It kind of seems weird. Super weird. Cheat 100%. Anyway, I'm glad that we're having these discussions to make the community feel more inclusive. I feel like for a while we've been kind of like trying to streamline stuff. I mean, we all just go through phases, right? Ultimately, any percent and 100% are the only categories that'll be around forever. Everything else is just like for fun. But there's no reason why it can't be more visible, even if it's just for fun, you know? I don't see why we can't have fun with it. I mean, like, the switchless community was, like, popping off for a little bit. But I think just, like, being on the extension boards hurts it a little bit. I'd be willing to try. It just feels weird that you have, like, any percent and 100%, and then there's one arbitrary category just next to it, like we're trying to like group it with those three. Like the way I see it, either we move NG plus to extensions and then we move other stuff back to the main boards. Cause like, but like why would we only have 2 categories on the main boards, you know? It's just silly. We should just put stuff back on it, cause it's just empty. And I think that any percent should be the forefront thing on the main boards. Not really because of like what the community's main focus is, but it's more that like any percent, most people know this game at this point, especially for the documentary, they know it for any percent. NG plus should stay on the main boards, I agree, but I think that NG plus 100% should move over. I think that we should do like any percent and 100%, and then after that on the main tabs you have warpless, switchless, and NG plus as like this side things. Yeah, any percent does have the most history behind it, and people, when they ask who has the world record in Battle for Bikini Bottom, for instance, like they're probably talking about any percent. But like, no, like the world record in Battle for Bikini Bottom is such a vague thing because 100% is still super developed as well. You know. The current state of the game, we should just put stuff over, I think. Give other categories a chance. They're not as popular, but I think if we give people more motivation to flesh out these challenge categories. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, NG Plus would probably just suffer because it's cannibalized by 100%. Like 100%, people are just gonna want to run that, you know. Like, is it really that much different? Yeah, NG plus ALS is super arbitrary. It's mad arbitrary. I'd be down to host somebody and just like work this stuff out in like a call, JB, if you have time. So I feel like right now I kind of want to just work on fixing this stuff. Sure. Alright. I'll host Shoy, and we'll get to work on that. And I'll also upload this run, because like I said, it's a good showcase of the new route. And it's also, it talks about a lot of the issues that we've been trying to verbalize for a while. But yeah. Yeah, stream's over. I'll come back tomorrow. But I'm glad that we had these talks, and I'll upload this run to YouTube now, just so you guys can